I'm no guru, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just spent 34 years building one company and ended up selling that for over $100 million. And I'm going to tell you everything I did on this little 5-minute video, so buckle up. So I started in 1984, graduating from college. I was looking for a small company to work at, and I found this little company that was looking for a bookkeeper. And they were making awnings for restaurants and selling supplies to sign companies. And the owner took a liking to me, hired me, and he kind of let me just do whatever I wanted. So I learned all the financial end of the company and got into the sales side, started learning the sales side. I even learned how to sew in awnings and banners and things like that. And as I was, operating in this company, I noticed that these sign companies were coming in and buying blank banner materials, having us sew them up, and then they were taking these banners back to their shop and putting letters on them. And I thought, man, what a simple business. And we were making good money off of it. And I thought, is there really that much business in blank banners? Well, I thought to myself, well, let me see if there's any business outside of Tulsa. So I went back to my boss and I said, hey, I want to buy this little flyer, direct mail flyer. I'm going to send it out and see what happens. So I bought a flyer, bought the mailing list for all the states surrounding Oklahoma, which I think was about, maybe 5,000, list of 5,000, something like that. And so I sent this little flyer out, and I'll be damned, got all kinds of business. It started going up. And so I went back to my boss and I said, man, I think I've really found something here. And I said, I want to be part owner of this company. I think we ought to be equal owners because I think it's going to blow up. And he just laughed at me. I was 25 years old and he didn't have any interest in that. So I quit and I found this little house in Tulsa for $400 a month, had a little garage in the back, and I set up shop. I had no money. It was all credit card debt. I was a little crazy, I guess, but I did have some credit from some of the vendors at the previous company I worked at. They liked me. So they gave me $30,000 of credit on 60-day terms. So I knew I had about 60 days to pay off this inventory debt, right? So I bought the flyer, sent the same flyer I sent out at the previous company. I'll be damned, got all kinds of business. It got a little slow, sometimes, but I started off $80 a day and it kept growing from there. Every time I get slow, though, I get on the phones and start calling sign companies. And of course, I called all the previous customers that I had at the previous company that I worked at. And I kept building. Believe it or not, by the end of that year, we were doing about almost $4,000 a day in business. And so I knew we were going to do over $1 million the following year. And I started hiring employees. The first 4 or 5 employees that I hired, all operational. I had to get all that operational stuff off of me, the sewing of the banners, the packaging, the shipping, things like that, so that I could focus on the sales end. I knew if I focused on the sales end, I was going to generate business. And sure enough, by 1992, we had almost $5 million in sales, and I got this bright idea. What if I open another location? Would I get even more business? So I looked around the country, I decided to open up in Chicago, and believe it or not, got more business. So it just kept growing. And so I kept opening more locations. By 2000, I had 20 locations around the country doing $25 million in sales. And I'd also, by that time, started selling pressure-sensitive vinyl to these sign companies because they were using it, to make the vinyl letters to stick on there. So I became pretty much a supply company to anybody that was making banners or vinyl signs. And by 2006, I had 40 locations doing $50 million in sales, and had a really great thing happen about that time. There's these inkjet printers came out, and this thing called wrapping of vehicles for advertising, and of course, and color change wraps kind of blew up my company even more. And by 2021, I had over 70 locations doing over $200 million annually in sales, had all kinds of companies looking to buy my company. I ended up selling it to APG Private Equity for 6.5, somewhere around 6.5 times EBITDA, which is earnings before interest and taxes. And that was about $19 million for my company. So I ended up selling that company for over $120 million.